Hello and welcome. Today I'm with Jody Lynn from Aging Naturally with Jody Lynn. We are here for a collab, a 60-day review of the NIRA Pro. We're trying to find out if any of our neck wrinkles are improved or if maybe I got some change in some of the sagging. It's not recommended for sagging skin, but I was kind of curious to see if it would do anything for my little wattles that are starting to show up after 50. So without further ado, I just wanted to introduce Jody Lynn. Welcome.
Here, thank you so much for having me, Cindy.
Tell us a little bit about your channel.
So my channel, I didn't start my skincare routine until I was about 47 years of age. That's when I noticed like my skin just was going south very quickly. And I was like, oh my goodness, what am I, it was during COVID where I thought, okay, I'm going to try to see what I can do at home. And then that just started snowballing, and I just figured, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna like journal this on YouTube, and it just took off from there. And I absolutely just love doing videos, and that's what I talk about on my channel, is how to take care of the skin at home with beauty devices, skincare, and obviously SPF daily. But that's what I talk about mostly on my channel.
I think it's so much fun to figure out if these devices are really going to do anything for us mature women.
For those of you who are not familiar with the NIRA home lasers, especially the NIRA Pro, I'm going to do a quick explanation and a demonstration on how they work. The original laser that NIRA came out with was the NIRA Precision. I did a full year review using this in the under eye area and the crow's feet. That's what this laser is designed to treat. Then they came out with the NIRA Pro, a much larger head to treat much larger facial surface areas. I did give this a quick try when it first arrived. However, the fan was broken, so it took me a while to get a replacement, and many of you asked me to do a review of the NIRA Pro. Now, I didn't find such great results with the NIRA Precision, so I was a little hesitant, but when Jody Lynn reached out, I decided, why not? So we've given the 60-day trial on our neck area. The idea of a home laser is it's a more targeted treatment. It gives the system a bit of a heat shock just below the threshold of pain. It's similar to an in-office laser, but much less intense. They're non-fractional lasers, which means they don't destroy the skin. They just work by heat shock, which means they heat up the dermis to stimulate collagen production and the wound healing response. So that's the theory about how they work. Now you might ask, what is the difference between a laser and an LED? An LED is a wider beam of light, whereas this laser is highly focused, more intense, and penetrates deeper than an LED red light therapy mask might, or a red light therapy panel might. So these are definitely more intense. They definitely feel warmer to the skin, and they have multiple intensities that you can adjust. For the NIRA Pro, you just turn it on, you'll hear that initial beep, you apply it to the skin, it beeps, and at the second beep, a few seconds later, you remove it from the skin and it's administered that beam of laser to the skin. I move down the neck, slightly overlapping. I also want to show you that you can adjust it to different intensities. That's the off button and the on button, and then you just tap it to adjust it to the intensity that you can tolerate. It should not result in any pain, so adjust it to the level where you do not feel pain. Now, I could only use this on level 4. I tried on 5, but that was just a little bit warm. My skin would get a little bit irritated. The other thing is you want to use this on clean skin, then treat the skin, then you want to hydrate the skin. The two products that I used for hydrating were the Medicate Peptide Serum and the Ordinary's Matrixyl Plus HA. It's very important when you're using a home laser because it administers heat to make sure you hydrate the skin really well after using. So that is a quick demonstration and explanation of how the NIRA Pro works.
How did you use this device, Cindy?
I used it the full 60 days, and I used it in the morning and the evening. And the area that I used from was about the area just down from my ear on either side all the way across. And that took me on average about 9 minutes to complete that treatment. And at first I was using it at level 5, but then that seemed a bit too warm, so I turned it down to level 4. So I would say through 90% of my trial, I was using it at level 4. with no serious discomfort, just some warmth.
Yeah, same here. I did about a 4 or 5 and ended up sticking with the intensity 4. And I used it on the same area. And what's interesting about this device is that you can use it here as well, that is like the area that on most devices you
Right. Yeah.
cannot use it, is on this area. So did you use it here too?
I did not. I have a history
Okay.
of thyroid disease, so I skipped that area
So
just
yeah.
because most doctors will tell you when using any device over your thyroid area, you're not really, if you have a predisposition to nodules, that even touching and sort of massaging that area is really not a good idea. It just exacerbates them for whatever reason. So I always skip that area when I'm doing any of my devices. Now, after you did your treatment, let's talk a little bit about the steps that you
Okay,
did
yeah.
after your treatment, because I thought your advice to use the NIRA and then do LED and then do microcurrent, I think that's what you recommended. Is that how you ended up using it?
Yes. So, and yeah, that's a great point to bring up. If you're using the NIRA with other devices like LED, and microcurrent, like you had said, I like to do my LED red light therapy after the heated treatment. So after any
Hmm.
heated devices, I like to do that LED because also it can help accelerate like the healing process.
For me, you know how red, I tend to get a lot of
Mhm.
redness when I use devices. I just have somewhat reactive skin, especially after using the Pro and the Precision, any of the newer devices, any heated device, I will definitely get redness. But if I do a 5 to 10 minute LED red light session, depending on whether I'm using my mask or a panel, it's gone.
I did also use the NIRA peptide serum as well.
Yep, I definitely
From
used a
this.
peptide serum. I finished up one of my peptides. I used the Medicate peptide, and then I switched over to the one from The Ordinary with the peptides and the HA because I had finished that up. So yeah, I definitely included peptides because they are just so moisturizing, especially after using a heated device. It always just feels so nice
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
moisturizing. And I
Yeah.
guess we both have learned that after using with our experience with the precision that it is really important to use a hydrating product after you use the NIRA, especially because of the heat intensity.
Yes. Yes. So you really need to be,
Yeah, that was a
and
learning
that's
curve for
another
both
reason.
of us.
So how did you find using it? Like the ease of use?
Because I had used the precision and that was such a quick
Hmm.
treatment, when I first started using this, especially since I went from such a large area, I was expecting the large head to go pretty quickly. But because of the duration between beeps, it was about a 9 minute session, which surprised me. I was thinking a 4 minute session. So adding this in was a little bit time consuming for me. And I did learn at first when I was walking around the house with it, it would like do the misfire. So I was like 12 minutes later. But I eventually got to the point where I knew the right pressure so I could actually function in motion because
Hmm.
I just can't stand there in front of the mirror. So for 10 minutes straight, it's just not going to happen.
I
How
have
long
a
did your
really
treatment
bad
take?
time.
Because we were doing about the same area. About
You only did went over once, right?
yes, yes, only once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
that's
too.
a
Me too.
good to point out. Yeah, you
And
don't do
it
it
just
twice.
overlap because you go to one and then you
Yeah,
overlap. Yeah.
slightly. Yeah.
So yeah, it was about that time frame. I noticed it was definitely longer, but I mean this area tends to be a lot larger than this area for sure.
Yeah.
But I was with you that I thought that it was going to be quicker, but it wasn't because of that large head. So another surprise for me was the battery. I
Oh, the
felt
battery. Yes.
okay, okay.
Yes.
Thank you. It's not just me. I had
No.
to,
And Glitzy Fritzy did a review on her use with the Pro. I can't remember what area she used it on. She's like the battery. So
yes.
it's a common issue.
Okay, so yeah, it was about every fourth or fifth time I had to charge it. Like it
Mine
was
was even
very,
more. If I didn't constantly keep it charged in the
yes,
charger,
it was probably
I would get
4. Yeah, for
halfway through
me.
my evening treatment
Yes,
and I couldn't finish.
that happened to me so often as
Yeah,
well.
really
This
frustrating.
lasts this lasts forever.
Oh yeah, that one lasts forever.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've
that
even
lasts
forgotten
forever.
my charger on vacation with the precision and it lasted.
Yeah, this one is the opposite. So that's something, yeah, viewers to
Definitely a
consider.
negative. And the
That's a
duration of
con.
treatment was a negative for me.
So I'm super excited to see the results, and we're going
Oh
to share
gosh,
our
me too.
results right
Like,
now.
have you peeked at your results yet or not yet?
Very little,
Okay.
very
Yeah,
little.
I haven't either. Each of us did three different lighting sources, so I think that we were really thorough
Yes.
about our lighting. So I just wanted to point that out. We both spent a lot of time and effort to make sure our lighting was,
Yeah.
good. We did an outside, right? We did outside
Yeah.
lighting, studio lighting and then just regular indoor lighting? That's what I
Yeah,
did.
just like I did
Yeah.
in my indoor bathroom.
Yep, me too,
Yes, and
bathroom
I'm
lighting.
glad that you pointed that out. So that's really important to note because lighting is always an issue.
Always.
So we figured that's kind of our way of getting around, hopefully, the lighting. And I will also do black and white because you get rid of all of the light. And especially when you're talking about fine lines and wrinkles, you really can see the
Yeah.
wrinkles and where they are. And I feel like that's a really good comparison.
Yeah. So we'll both be including those, definitely.
Okay,
So I'm
great.
excited to see what happened.
I'm excited too. We don't
Right.
know. I haven't seen her results. She hasn't seen my result.
We're doing the big
Excited to see the
reveal.
results. We're going to be doing the big reveal in this video now.
In an effort to catch good before and after photos, we took photographs in both outdoor lighting, indoor bathroom lighting, and studio lighting. Each lighting type revealed very similar results. However, the studio lighting had the least amount of shadows and the most consistent lighting. What I've done is I've taken all the studio lighting photos, put them side by side, and removed the background so there's no distraction. We'll analyze each of the before and afters up close at the 4 angles that I took, and then we'll also look at them in black and white. I'm going to start with the photograph of my front-facing view, before and after. In the before picture, my necklace lines, as they call them, are fairly prominent, and you'll see in the after picture that they almost look a little bit worse. My opinion is these kind of lines are deeply entrenched and repeated again and again and again, and I'm not quite sure, because mine are fairly well set, that the NIRA is strong enough to get rid of these deep, repeatedly entrenched lines that are created day after day after day. In this next set of before and afters, I'm still front-facing, but I've lifted my chin a little bit, and you can still see that my necklace lines are prominent both before and after, possibly just a little bit more prominent and deeper in the after photo. Now here's where things get really interesting. We're looking at a close-up of my right side. And honestly, I think the necklines are ever so slightly improved in the after photo. And I've been trying to figure out why this is the case. I'm wondering if the lines that we create on the sides of our neck are just less repetitive than the ones that we create when we move our head up and down. I'm on my phone a lot, I'm on my computer a lot, as we all are, repeatedly looking down and creating neck creases as opposed to turning our necks and moving our necks side to side, which we probably do a lot less often. So I'm wondering if the NIRA is possibly able to tackle very fine lines more so than the more deep entrenched lines and ones that we continue to create repeatedly. Here are the before and afters of the left side of my neck, and I'm finding the same thing. In the after picture, the lines look ever so slightly softer than in the before picture. Now let's take a look at the black and whites. With all the color removed, we should be able to see the lines clear, and I'm really curious to see if the black and white photos show the same results. The before and after of my front-facing view in the black and white photo is a little bit inconsistent to what I saw in the color photo. My necklines are still pretty prominent in the center, but a little less so on the after picture. In this photograph with my neck slightly raised, you can really clearly see that the necklines in the center are much worse on the after photo than on the before photo. Leading me once again to conclude that the center lines are fairly entrenched lines, fairly deep, and that the NIRA Pro really didn't do much to change those lines at all. Looking at the right side of my neck now, even in black and white, that surprising result still holds true. The before is much deeper and the after looks a lot lighter, so there might be something going on here. And in the black and white, now looking at the left side of my neck, the lines on the side of my neck in the after photo definitely look a little smoother. So what can we conclude from my 60-day trial, which admittedly is quite short? Possibly that the lines that aren't as deep might respond better to the NIRA Pro. Another possibility is that I haven't considered a confounding factor. Perhaps I just need to use it for a longer period of time on the deeper lines to see results.
If you've been using the NIRA Pro or the NIRA Precision, leave us some comments down below because we really want to hear what you have to say about the device. And it's just it's fun to share the information, what we're learning. After you watch my video, definitely go check out Jody Lynn's. I'm going to link her video down below in the description, of course, always in a pinned comment. So go check her out. I know you're going to love her. She has a wonderful channel. She reviews tons of skincare devices and she gives her honest opinion and really detailed. She's been doing this now for 4 years. So if you're interested in skincare devices, you cannot find a better resource than Jody Lynn. As always, thanks very much for watching and wishing you all a skintastic day.